Hello and welcome. I am Thomas Porteous and you're watching The World Report. Let's take a look at some of the top headlines this hour. South Korea's President Yoon Yeol delivers a final message to address the nation before his dramatic arrest. His detention follows a failed attempt to impose martial law and recent impeachment proceedings, plunging the country into political turmoil. President Biden and Egypt's El-Sisi emphasized the need for maximum flexibility to achieve a Gaza ceasefire. Meanwhile, Israel intercepts a missile launch from Yemen as ceasefire talks intensify. Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov claims North Korean soldiers fighting in Ukraine are using suicide tactics to avoid capture. Allegations of troops blowing themselves up spark alarm among international observers, and the conflict escalates. Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov proposes adding India to the Afghan Quad, a grouping that currently includes Russia, China, Pakistan and Iran. The move aims to strengthen regional cooperation on Afghanistan's future. In the latest chapter of a political saga that has lasted weeks, South Korean President Yoon Yeol has been arrested for questioning, according to the country's anti-corruption agency. Yoon left his residential compound with investigators in a motorcade, the first time such an action has been taken against a sitting president in South Korea. Yoon is wanted for questioning in multiple criminal investigations related to his short-lived martial law declaration. According to the officials, as of Wednesday afternoon, Yoon had refused to answer investigators' questions or comments and refused to allow the sessions to be recorded. Following his arrest, Yoon released a video message dismissing the investigations into him. In fact, let's listen to what he said.
그러나 제가 이 공수처의 수사를 인정하는 것은 아닙니다. 대한민국의 헌법과 법 체계를 수호해야 하는 대통령으로서 이렇게 불법적이고 무효인 이런 절차에 응하는 것은 이것을 인정하는 것이 아니라 불미스러운 유혈 사태를 막기 위한 마음일 뿐입니다.
Yoon is expected to be moved from the CIO headquarters to a nearby detention centre, where he will be held overnight in solitary confinement due to safety reasons. The warrant allows investigators to hold Yoon for up to 48 hours from when he was detained. The embattled president had been held up in his fortified residence for weeks, surrounded by his presidential security service team, evading arrest as he faces several probes and impeachment trial. For more on this discussion, we are joined by our reporter Aditya Wadwan, our correspondent. Aditya, what are the recent updates on this?
Well, Tom, as you rightly pointed out, he has been finally, the South Korean President Yoon has been finally arrested because of his shortly imposed martial law. You know, that is unprecedented. Right now, the situation in South Korea has unprecedented because no other South Korean leader in the past has done so. South Korea is already grappling with in a conflict with North Korea. You know, as far as this case is concerned, this was expected that he had to be arrested because a lot of people were protesting against outside his house, and there was a lot of widespread protests against Yoon. You know, I mean, as per the first remarks, you know, that after getting arrested, that he had made to the public is that I do not believe in this investigation or the prosecution investigation office, and this is being done to prevent the bloodshed. So, I mean, this is very apparent. You know, some reports have come out wherein it is revealed that Yoon earlier, when he was sent some arrest warrants, he ignored some warrants and he managed to escape with the help of the South Korea Secret Service Agency. And this question also needs to be answered, you know, as to why the South Korean Secret Agency allowed Yoon to escape for the first time when he received arrest warrants. Yes, Tom, back to you in the studios.
Thank you very much, Aditya. For more on this discussion, we are joined by Mahesh Sachdev, former ambassador, live from New Delhi, and Dr. Sandeep Tripathi, international affairs expert, also live in New Delhi. Ambassador Sachdev, I want to come to you first on this question. Martial law was invoked on the 3rd of December. Why has it taken so long for President Yoon to be arrested?
I think the arrest was also attempted earlier, but did not succeed in the wake of, as your correspondent said, the presidential guard disallowing the entry of the corruption investigation office people to enter the presidential estate. And that led to another showdown today. And the CIO people were supported by more police and other officials, and were better equipped. So, and they did not face that kind of resistance, and the president gave himself up. But it has taken so long because impeachment proceedings took their own time, and then the Prime Minister, who was to be acting president, was also impeached. So there's double impeachment, and there are some other charges against justice, and as your correspondent said, the Secret Service people for abetting the president to remain outside the purview of the law. Now, this is a classic battle between Parliament and the President, and I think President's invocation of martial law was in itself prompted by his belief that the Electoral Commission has not acted fairly and in accordance with the law during the parliamentary elections. And those elections resulted in a certain set of people being elected to the parliament, and now by taking sides against their election, President Yoon has pitted himself against the parliament, and the parliament has lost no time in reacting to martial law. But then impeachment proceedings and the subsequent impeachment of the acting president, etc., has taken its own time.
Dr. Tripathi, as Ambassador Sachdev said previously, this isn't the first time he's been attempted arrested. What does this say about the broader political spectrum in South Korea? What is the issues of corruption and accountability within South Korea's political system?
First of all, it is a shocking, unprecedented and biggest constitutional crisis that took place in South Korean history, especially the late 1980s. After the, we can say that 45 years later. So, first of all, let me quote President Yoon, who argued that he imposed this martial law just because of to defend the free Republic of Korea, and just because of the threats coming from the communist forces North Korea. So this is somehow the allegation that he made during his address to the nation when he imposed martial law. But the real fact is we should know what are the basic driving factors behind this decision and why South Korea is on the constitutional crisis. And it's not only the question of constitutional crisis. South Korea is a kind of model of democracy. Now it stands on a highest rank somehow if we talk about the Asian hemisphere. So it's a vibrant democracy. So this is a lesson for all of us that democracy is not like a potato, that wherever you grow and it will, wherever you plant, it will grow. So this is not something. And let's understand the basic story behind this crisis is that, see, onwards in 2022, when he became the president, so he has, he was accused just because of the corruptions, and his wife, first lady, was accused of the corruptions. So this is the one factor.
Dr. Tripathi, I was wondering, what can you see in the future in this regard? Can we see further political turmoil in South Korea? Maybe US involvement, or once Trump takes office, if this continues?
See, Yeah, see, we all know that South Korea is completely aligned with the US politics. If something is going on in South Korea, the US may have that you can say the observation. And I hope that the coming elected President Donald Trump will see and will be observing the entire situation in South Korea. But the logic behind this crisis is that the South Korea is that there is kind of resentment and there's kind of the kind of martial law was imposed by the president. This is the serious concern because the people of the South Korea, they don't have experience last 45 years. So I think US President Donald Trump will be in a position to tackle the situation, but at the same time, we have to see that this is the country that demonstrates democratic credential. Now now the president, the kind of he imposed martial law, and the troops surrounded parliament. We have seen the high-profile drama inside the parliament. So this is something, the nation that each and every country that has to protect and respect the public's sentiment. And one is the top position of like constitutional position. One has to maintain the integrity of the post. So I think this is the lesson for all other countries also. If the president is not handling the situation, one cannot make argument that it was imposed just because of the threat of the North Korea forces. Even he also imposed. Yeah, he made allegations the opposition party there is some fixing with the North Korea. I don't think so. This kind of allegation is correct. The fact is that he was facing the corruption charges. The fact is that he was in he lost majority in the National Assembly in 2024 elections. So this is somehow the political crisis that is going on in South Korea. But this is I think in coming days, the situation will be normalized, but the common people of the South Korea, they have a kind of taste of the vibrant democracy, and I hope that the democracy will return to South Korea very soon.
Thank you very much for joining us in that discussion. We will now move to some more news from across the world. US President-elect Donald Trump is set to take the Oval Office in his inauguration on January the 20th. His comments about ending the Russia-Ukraine conflict in a day still echo in the war. On the same lines, Russia's Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov has said that Moscow is open for talks with Trump. At his annual news conference, Lavrov specifically praised Trump's comments earlier this month, in which he said that NATO's plans to open its doors to Ukraine had led to hostilities. On the other hand, North Korean involvement in the war is raising further questions. A lawmaker on the South Korean Parliament Intelligence Committee, Lee Song-kwon, said that the North Korean authorities reportedly called for the country's troops to self-destruct to evade capture, citing the National Intelligence Agency. He said that the memos carried by the soldiers killed also emphasize self-destruction before capture. Meanwhile, the battleground is heating up each day. Ukraine's military has claimed its largest air attacks yet on Russian territory. Kiev fired 6 US ATA CMS ballistic missiles and 6 UK-made Storm Shadow cruise missiles. The Russian Defense Ministry said it had shot down all of the missiles in the Bryansk region, as well as 146 drones outside the war zone. The ministry also vowed retaliation for the large-scale attacks overnight. For more on this discussion, we are joined by Dr. Sergei Dvoryanov, Director Communications of BCMF BRICS Culture Media Forum, live from Bahrain, and also joined by Mahesh Sachdev, former ambassador. Thank you very much for joining us. I want to move into these Trump comments first. How do you think the future of the Trump and Russia relationship will be in the future?
Yes. Mr. Thomas, thank you so much for your question. As you can see, our president, national leader, Vladimir Putin, he has his personal relationships with Donald Trump. Even when Trump was in power and when he led America, it was very lovely conversation between our countries. Unfortunately, this conversation and dialogue was interrupted by Biden administration, and that's why we have right now such a serious and very sad reality like a war. Because war is a main disaster of civilization. Right now we can see that Biden has personal problems, same like president of South Korea. You remember 2 days back I gave interview in your TV channel and I predict that Mr. Zelensky and the current president of South Korea, they have, both of them, they have some problem with legacy. That's why they try to promote this news about North Korea soldiers, because they have problems with their nations. Their nations not trust them, both of them. Unfortunately, same problem with Biden, because he removed his son from the criminal investigation. Even he promised a lot of times that he will never do it, but he did it.
Dr. Dvoryanov, I just wanted to interrupt you there and ask, do you think Trump has made claims, obviously, about ending this war in a day? Do you believe him when he says that? Obviously, Trump likes to speculate, but do you believe that this will be done by Trump?
See, first of all, thank you that you remind me, as our main topic, I come to the main problem. We should be more positive, of course, because I already told a lot of times, I want to repeat that mindset of Donald Trump. He's peacemaker, and he can negotiate perfectly. Look how he negotiated with Jerusalem in make it capital of Israel. He is already, he has experience with dialogue between North and South Korea. He brought two leaders together. And right now, according to his peacemaking mission and feelings, he completely realized that all this war for America is nothing, is only case of corruption. Biden administration tried their level best to put more money for weapons, bring more money to Ukraine war, but what is the result? More population will be killed. Is a big suffering. That's why, like a peacemaker, if Donald Trump will make this peace on Ukraine, he definitely will receive a Nobel Prize for peace. And we should be think more positive. And personal relationships, which already between our leaders, they based on a universal understanding what is the future of America and Russia. Actually, Donald Trump, supporter of traditional values and traditional law, same like our national leader. On this platform, on this basic understanding, they can definitely found ways how to come to the peace. And the conditions of the peace are already announced, and everybody knows this. Denazification is not occupation, it's denazification of Ukraine. And again, it's Ukraine should be not the part of NATO, and of course it should be some land of Russian population rejoin to Russia. That's only three simple.
Dr. Dvoryanov, I just wanted to interrupt you there. Apologies. I wanted to move on to the other major development in this story and speak to Ambassador Sachdev. I wanted to talk about the involvement of North Korean troops in the war. Obviously, these North Korean troops have been ordered to commit suicide, reportedly, to avoid being captured. Why is this foreign involvement such a problem for Ukraine?
Thank you. I think so far it was attempt of Ukraine to portray this conflict as a binary conflict between Russia and Ukraine, with some participation from Belarus. But now with the North Korean involvement, and some suggestions of Chinese help to Russia in equipment and other inputs, makes this conflict look wider, acquire a new ambit. So it is worrisome for for Ukraine, to see that the other side is being able to get support in manpower. They would have liked to show that only they have the global support of NATO and some Western countries. Beyond that, this is troubling them, I imagine.
Dr. Dvorinov, I wanted to stay on this topic. What do the people of Russia think about North Koreans' involvement in the Russia-Ukraine war? There's been reports of North Korean soldiers not even knowing what war they're fighting in, and then still wanting to being ready to die for this war.
First of all, I want to tell that we should definitely clear to make some research about involvement of North Korean soldiers. It should be not fake news. Until now, we have no any improvement of these cases. It's only just created by South Korea intelligence and Mr. Zelensky, who is very famous to prepare some entertainment show. And if it will be improved, I will tell that is no harm, no any problems, that we have agreement between Russia and North Korea, right? Our leader visit North Korea leader visit Russia. And during this proxy war, we can see the for North Korea is favorable to have such kind of experience on the real battlefield and to be observe what is going on, what is the tendency of the modern war. For example, the drones and other weapons which are used by Western countries. Because of ideology of North Korea, we understand that is a communist country, and sometimes, yes, we need to increase our skills in military field to do it during the real war, not like artificial just trainings of the soldiers, real war. That's why, for my opinion, if Western countries put so many experts to Ukrainian army, officers, not even soldiers, if they put all their efforts.
Dr. Dvorinov, I'm very sorry, we have run out of time. Thank you very much to you and Ambassador Sachdev for joining us. We will now move on to some more news updates from across the world. Truce talks for Gaza have reached a pivotal moment. Qatar, Egypt and the US are leading efforts to broker a ceasefire as hopes rise for an end to the devastation. Here is the latest on the situation.
Efforts to finalize a Gaza ceasefire are intensifying as negotiators make a final push to seal the deal. Egypt and the US emphasized the urgency of the situation during a high-level phone call.
We do believe that we are at a developed stage. We do believe that we are at the final stages, but obviously until there is an announcement, there will be no announcement, and therefore we shouldn't be overexcited about what's happening right now, but certainly we are hopeful that this would lead very soon to an agreement.
US President Joe Biden and Egypt's President El-Sisi have called for maximum flexibility to ensure a deal is reached. Both leaders stressed the need for immediate relief to Gaza's suffering population. Meanwhile, images from the Israeli side of the border capture smoke rising over northern Gaza. The devastation underscores the urgency for a ceasefire as mediators work tirelessly behind the scenes.
Our intensive efforts have brought us to the brink of full and final agreement. On Sunday, the United States, Qatar and Egypt put forward a final proposal. The ball is now in Hamas's court. If Hamas accepts, the deal is ready to be concluded and implemented.
While negotiators push for progress, Israel is showing true willingness to make a deal. The country remains prepared to pay a high price, including releasing hundreds of Palestinian prisoners, to secure the hostages' return.
I believe that if we will achieve this hostage deal, we will have a majority in the government that will support the agreement. So This is the simple answer. I know there is a true willingness from our side to reach an agreement.
Protests are mounting in Tel Aviv as relatives of hostages demand swift action. Hundreds gathered, listening to emotional speeches and songs, hoping for a breakthrough in the negotiations. In Gaza, residents describe scenes of devastation following an Israeli airstrike in the northern region. 6 people were killed in the West Bank, adding to the mounting toll of the conflict.
صمودنا أسطوري وإحنا خلقنا في هذا الوطن وحنضلنا في هذا الوطن وإن شاء الله اللي جاي حيكون أحسن وإن شاء الله حنروح على الشمال وحنعمرها بإذن الله.
As the humanitarian crisis deepens, the clock is ticking for negotiators to secure a ceasefire and prevent further escalation. Qatar remains hopeful that an agreement will be reached very soon. All eyes are now on the mediators as they push to finalize a deal that could bring a temporary ceasefire to Gaza and offer a glimmer of hope amid devastation. Bureau Report, NewsX.
That's all we have time for now. We will be back with more international news updates. Thank you.
Thank you.